Hello, and welcome to another session of the Mastermind Book Club. I am CEO David Diaz, and to my right is Reggie Hilliard, my left, Marth Johnson, and then Charles Culmer. Welcome to another session. Tonight's session, we are summarizing and reviewing a very important book. The name of the book is How to Force Yourself, Your Brain to Do Hard Things. How to Force Your Brain to Do Hard Things. In order to call on our first guest, just want to let you know he's just got out of work and glad to have him here, the one and only Reggie Hilliard.
Hello, everyone. Reggie Hilliard at the Mastermind Book Club. This book is pretty powerful. It's really trying to get you to get out of your comfort zone, to force yourself to work, to force yourself to do things, to force yourself to stop waiting. The longer you wait, the harder things get. You got to train your brain to take action, not to delay, because if you delay, like I said, it gets hard. You want to basically do things when you're not always comfortable, when your feeling is not always there, when your mood is not always there, when you're not always motivated. You got to basically go for it no matter what. And that helps to build mental muscle doing the difficult things, because things are not always easy. So if you were to put yourself in that situation where you forget your feelings, practice discipline, get purposeful and powerful behind yourself, and make sure that you do things when those times aren't always right, when you don't necessarily have all the energy and all the tools. You just got to go for it, because the more you do that, the more empowered you are, the more impactful you are in your life. And taking action before you have any doubts and those types of things will definitely fortify you in every way, such that you can get things done and you can then overcome any laziness or any things that you may be thinking of holding you back. So this is really about setting up a system. And the system is you making sure you do no matter what, whether you're sick. Well, maybe sick is a slight exception, but otherwise things like lack of motivation, as I said, lack of feeling, the emotions, all that stuff, you get it out the way and just go for it. And that'll get you to overcome and allow you to get control of yourself and your mind and get things done. That's what I have.
Reggie, very good, very good. Thank you. Thank you for your summary there. I'd like to call on our next mastermind, Marth Johnson, to give her summary.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is something very powerful and very important for everyone, because all deal with fears and disappointment. Your brain is he likes comfort, but to be successful demand discomfort. In that way, our brain tells us what to do because it's easy, but we want to do something better. So you have to reprogram your brain for laziness, for resistance, for procrastination, and for fears, a lot of fears. I was reading the book for Bob Proctor. He said the fears and the resistance, the procrastination, and the subconscious mind. You have to control the subconscious mind to be able to be success. Nothing great is coming easy, but if you teach your brain to be resistancy, you will start winning whatever you decide in life. And I finish with that.
Very good. Very good, Marth Johnson. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to call on our next mastermind, Chaz Culmer.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Mastermind Book Club. Just picking up off of what Reggie and Martha have already illustrated. Just do it. You are where you are because the sum total of your decisions, your actions, and your disciplines. This book definitely goes into talking about getting off your personal preferences, making up your mind once you make a decision, being a person of your word, showing up for yourself. That's very important. Sometimes it's hard, but when it's hard, that's when you know you got to do it. Even for me, dealing with some health issues, I know I have to walk. I know I have to eat right. And the hardest thing, like even just a few minutes ago, I just drove by my favorite sandwich shop and Jersey Mike's. I wanted to get me a nice Jersey Mike's. And, some said, is that being disciplined? Is that what you need? Even going to the gym, we can relate this to going to the gym. When you start off going to the gym and you work in muscles you haven't worked before, it's going to be sore, it's going to be tough. But through it all, you know that the end results is that you'll get the sculpt body that you want, you'll get the better feeling. So sometimes we have to push through our emotions. We have to push through our self denials, you just have to push, continuing to do what you need to do until you get the results that you need. Uh, Discipline comes from doing, and I'm gonna end with that. Discipline comes from doing.
Thank you, Chaz. Thank you very much. This book states everything you guys said, and I can't deny. Our brains look for ways to feel comfortable, look for ways to talk us out of doing hard things. But I'd say that in reality, most things are easy to do and easy not to do. For example, writing a book, losing weight, making more money, getting a side hustle, working an extra hour or two, concentrating on your homework, just to name a few, dedicating more time to the family. The brain looks for easy ways not to do things that require more work from you. Just for example, 2 days ago, as I listened to this book, actually yesterday, as I was listening to this book, I went out on a run. I wanted to run for 2 hours. After an hour, my brain said, "That's it. You don't need to run anymore." And I was like, "You be quiet." And I said a 4-letter word, but I didn't say a bad one. But the reality is if you let your brain control you, you're not going to get the things that you want to do accomplished. Charles just said going to his favorite sandwich shop. Sometimes you just got to say no, because if you don't, then your brain wins and you lose out. The difference between the brain and you is that the brain is physical, and I'd say you are more spiritual as well as physical. So it's a combination. You are a combination of both, and you should be in control. The earlier that you start, the better it is for you. Now, a lot of us, that when we start at this level, it's only after trial and error. And, just as my fellow colleagues here know, that unless we read these books, we don't really know where to go next. I'd like to ask each and every one of you 2 questions. Number 1 is, what project are you working on right now? And have you put it aside? Reggie?
I mean, right now, the biggest project I'm working on is my book, which I haven't put aside. I'm hosting, I'm doing different speaking engagements, I'm doing those types of things. But it's for me now. And I'm actually doing some interviews. I did 2 interviews last weekend, one on Saturday, actually one on last Saturday. Then I did another interview last Monday, this past Monday, which will air, I was told, October 28th. And then this weekend, I'm doing another interview with my friend who's going to cut up the video and put him online and help it to go viral, because he's got a big following, almost 100,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Wow.
And he knows how to get videos to get into the millions, since he's already done. So he's got a whole plan for that. So I'm not procrastinating at all. I'm actually doing, but I know I could always add to it, but I'm actually consistent and persistent, and it's just always building on that. So that's the basic. The main thing is the book, my book and my profile, to get more and more out there, to be the person I need to be in all places and spaces.
Thank you, Reggie. Thank you. Martha Johnson, is there anything that you're working on right now and that you might have put off? I mean, if you're working on it right now, you're probably not putting off, but
I know you guys all have a book, and I want to challenge myself to try to write a book. And I was starting to decide today. I was talking to a friend. Everybody have a book. It's like me, and you start working in that. And we have a seminar to teach people how, especially families, how to be wealthy and how to control your money and ways to have monies for to have the resources for how our children go to college and for any problems in the family and the finance expenses for the final expenses too. So we have a seminar to teach all these. We have a lot of projects to helping families, especially medium-class families.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Martha. Chaz Culmer.
Oh man, a few things come to mind. Well, first project I'm working on is me. I'm the main project that I'm working on for my health and weight and blood pressure. You know, had a little bit of a scare a couple weeks ago, well, last few days. The next project I'm working on is my trading. Uh, haven't really, because I wasn't feeling great this week, I didn't really show up this week, but every day at a certain time, I try to show up and listen to the markets, keep my hand on the pulse of what's going on. The third project, Martha, I'm just like you. I don't have a book that's published, but I do have a lot of notes. I'm writing all the time. That's probably the one that I really need to push to the forefront and start putting those notes in some type of format and actually getting it together to put out there. Don't know if it's going to be an autobiography or, like you said, maybe something, a self-help book or even a fiction. I have a fiction book in me, I know for sure. So those are projects that I'm working on. So I try to be proactive and positive, despite how you feel, because avoidance equals delay. Don't avoid things. Go after it.
Very, very good. Very good, Charles. I'm with you guys in that, yes, Reggie and I have books. I know that each and one of you is working on a specific project. I just wanted to hear it from you because sometimes we know and sometimes we don't. We think we know, we perceive. Most people in the world are talkers versus 5% of the world who are action takers or risk takers. So talking can only get you so far. Making some valid step forward in whatever project you're working on. I'm working on translating my book to Spanish. I was editing it and I got sidetracked as the summer started. So I'm going to start editing again tomorrow onward. And I'd like to get 2 books ready for publish. One, I'd say in the next 30 days, and then the other one in the next, 3 or 4 months, because I've got to start editing that one as well. They're both translated, but I've got to edit because things change and we want to make them proper. So one other question for the members here is, have you ever walked away on a project? Anyone can answer.
Yes, many times.
Mm.
Many times I've walked away.
Name one.
Sometimes
Name one.
name a project that I walked away. I remember in an organization I was doing a group project to put a program on to actually, I don't know if it was a play or musical or something, but no one was showing up. No one was, coming to the practices. No one was really committed. I'm sitting there by myself a lot of times and calling people. So after a while, it just wasn't worth my time and effort, and I walked away from those projects. Even though everyone was like, well, please don't go, you're the only one. Exactly. I'm the only one. That's a clue. If you're the only one committed to a group project, then you don't need to be a part of that project.
No, I agree with you there. I agree. And I've done the same thing. But I'll talk after everyone else goes. Martha, anything you've walked away from? One thing?
Yes. One thing was I was in medical school in my country when I came to the United States. When I continued with the medical school, but it was very hard. because I need to start working to support my family. At the moment, I decided to give up. I never give up in my brain. I'll be a doctor because my whole family, they are doctors. And I don't have in my mind to be a doctor, but now it's too late for me. But I was having my heart. I never do it. I didn't do it. But, you know, sometimes you have to give up because you have some kind of change in your life and so you have to take care of the family. That's what happened to me.
And you've never thought about picking it up again?
No, right now I'm different Korea, and now I see the AI take control of the medicine. And either my brother is going to have a heart surgery the night, October 9th, and the AI is going to operate him. The doctor say, I won't be operated, the AI is going to operate him. And I say, there's no reason to be a doctor now if you have AI working in the medical field.
Well, that's one way to look at it, Martha. I'll get back to that. Reggie, you want to give it a shot or you can't?
I don't have a project that I can think of that I walked away from.
Yes, you do.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I do have one.
Remember Richway?
What project?
Richway?
That's not a project. I didn't
Well,
walk away from that. It was pretty much not to my liking. No,
many
I
of
didn't walk
us.
away. I made a choice. I wouldn't call that because it was not really, I was already too advanced for it. So I wouldn't really call it walking away. I went in there and I wasn't getting what I needed because there weren't necessarily coaches that were past me to really give me, you know, what would really benefit. I mean, I'm not to say I couldn't get any, or I wasn't getting anything, but it wasn't where it needed to be to where it really was the thing that I could benefit from at the level at where I was.
Got it. All right. So I want to let you know that just as an example, I've walked away from several things. I invest, I do health, I write books, I'm in this book club just as you are. I run, I have a daughter I attend to as much as I can, and I've walked away from a lot of this. However, I've come back and then I've walked away, and I've come back and I've walked away. So yes, there's a pattern in walking away. And sometimes when we start to talk, we don't listen to what we say. And that's why I stopped Martha before, is that sometimes we don't listen to what we're saying. Oh, there's AI, so there's no more need for doctors. That's not true. Not everybody's going to want to be a part of AI. And AI is not being received with the numbers that you might think. And it's the same thing with everything else. Just what Martha just said. Don't think that because, oh, somebody next door is just Charles said about investing, is doing investing, so I don't need to do it anymore. No, nonsense. Everybody needs a specific kind of audience. Everybody needs a specific kind of person to walk them through the steps. Not everyone's going to rely on AI for operations. Not everyone's going to rely on AI to write a book. I haven't even bothered to use AI for a book. But I mean, just as an example, you don't know what you're going to get from that. Don't let it limit your abilities because you're sabotaging your possibilities just because something else is happening. No. What do you gain from that? That's what this book is about. Rewire your brain so that the next time this happens, you crave discipline, because only 5% of the people in the world become successful. Why? Because they continue after these excuses come up. That's the difference. So don't let that next shiny thing that's happening get rid of your possibilities, because you have possibilities. You have possibilities. I have possibilities. Let's go after them one at a time and become successful, just like Reggie has taught us in his speaking, if you want to go back to listen to it. One thing at a time. Anyone else want to add anything before we end this conversation?
Yes, I'll mention one thing, and this is one reason why I am very careful about starting and stopping. Because one thing I learned a bunch of years ago by one of my mentors, said, don't have too many cycles of incompletion. The cycles of incompletion will dictate or create the life that you end up having. And then, you'll look up and see that you didn't complete a lot of stuff, and you'll feel, I don't want to say feel like a failure, but essentially it's going to leave you where you are, and that's pretty self-explanatory. You can pretty much get a sense of that. So you want to be very careful. It's better you don't start the thing than to start it and stop, or don't do it. Start and stop, start and don't do, start and don't, because you're going to have all these places where you just have stuff that's just sitting there dormant, and you're going to look at that and say, man, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do this, I don't do that, and it doesn't make for a good feeling. I don't want to call people failures, but just obviously, like, people tend to take a certain feeling towards things. So it's a very powerful lesson. I learned this like 20, maybe 25 years ago from my mentor, actually by way of my friend from my mentor. He related, but it was don't be careful with things that you take on, because you don't want to have too many cycles of incompletion. So that's one reason why I like a lot of things I get into, I just stick around for a long time, and I commit, and then other things I just don't touch. And the thing you mentioned with the rich way, I went into it, but it wasn't enough. So that wasn't me quitting. It was more of like, now I'll move on to the next thing. I did it for a period. It was like, okay, not quite what I needed. So
Got it. Thank you. Martha or Charles, any last word?
Well, I'm gonna just say this: you don't have to love the process, but you do have to respect it. That was right out of the book. You don't have to love the process, but you do have to respect it.
For myself, I say if you need to reprogram your brain, do it. And always follow your goals and your intention. Never give up. And go, whatever you want to do, winning, and you're going to be terrific satisfaction in yourself and proud to yourself, because you never give up what you want to do in life.
Thank you, Martha. And I'm just gonna say, if you start something, finish it. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. It could be in 5 or 10 years, but if you start, finish it. Have an end date. I don't know if it's 2 years, 5 years, whatever it may be. Don't let what you start go unfinished as long as you're alive. Because as I think Martha or Charles said, you'll regret it in life if you don't finish what you start. And I feel some regret for taking on way too many tasks, and instead of just doing one at a time. And that's what I'm gonna start focusing on, specific things. Put an hour or more on a specific task. So thank you very much for listening to this powerful book. And as you can gather, each and every one of us learned very important tools, and I'm pretty certain we're going to start using them. So take a moment, listen to this book, and find out for yourself how great it is. Take care. This is the Mastermind Book Club signing off until next week, where we'll review another empowering book.
Bye, everyone. Bye.